I just was thinking about this comment that I got a few weeks ago just about the fact that my content is very boring. This year is going to be about leaning into that. I'm not trying to put on a show or make my life seem like more grandiose or exciting than it really is. Hello friends, welcome back. Happy 2024. I took a bit of a filming break and actually basically was offline for 2 weeks, which was amazing, but I'm back. I am kind of in the final phase of pregnancy, so I'm just trying to catch up on a bunch of work stuff so that I can take some time off when the baby comes. I have to record a podcast episode right now. Then, my gosh. And then I'm going to see a friend and her baby actually for a bit of the afternoon. Just in terms of like other updates, I also started a Substack. I know a lot of you like Substack and I got into it over the holidays actually. Also, I haven't given you a bump update in a while, obviously. Okay, this is where we're at. And also this tape is because I had a few days of like excruciating back pain and I had seen people on TikTok using this kinesiology tape and I just tried it out. I'm wearing it kind of on both sides of my belly here. Honestly, the next day the back pain was gone and since then I haven't had any. This is another one of my life-saving things. It's an exercise ball that I just sit on, whether it's like watching TV or like throughout my work day. Also, that's just a dish towel. I don't know why it's there, but that has been a lifesaver. And you guys may remember actually that this was Jamie's office, this little bedroom here. And we actually switched because this is better for me for podcasting. It's just like it has a carpet, so it's not as echoey. Okay, we're in Jamie's office now. I got a notification that this was delivered. I had actually wanted to get a few postpartum kind of comfy things that I could just wear for that period because I feel like I'll want some really nice loose fitting things. So I'll show you what I got. I also got a few maternity bras, or I guess like nursing bras too. Not from the Gap, but honestly I was very tempted by the Skims like soft lounge set, but in Canadian they were like $250 and I'm just not spending that on pajamas. I got these instead. I'll leave a link. They're like the modal pajama pants. They feel really soft. And then this is just the matching top. They had like a bunch of different colors. So I just got navy. I tend to like dark colors, especially I feel in the postpartum period. I just think that will be the best option. One thing that I don't know how this will be, it looks like it's kind of like low cut. That actually might be handy though for breastfeeding. This I actually thought would be good for not just postpartum, but maybe even like the hospital. It's like a robe. Okay, this is the pajama set. This is so soft and exactly what I wanted. And then we have the robe, which honestly, like it's just a robe. The material is super soft. And like I said, like exactly what I was looking for. And it's a good length too. Sometimes these robes are like really short and I'm quite tall. They're like very revealing and that is not really what I'm after. Hopefully you kind of get an idea. I think this will be really nice. Hello friends, just got back from seeing my friend and her baby. Jamie and I decided that we're gonna go out for dinner tonight, try a new spot. I feel like our days of being able to do that, at least for the next little while, are probably going to be few and far in between. That is going to be like an hour and a half from now, so I think I'm just gonna catch up on my book. I don't know if I mentioned the actual books that I've been reading so far this year. The first book that I read was Fourth Wing, and then I read the sequel to Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on both of those books online. And I also already did like a full review of Fourth Wing on my Substack. And then now I'm reading The Will of the Many, which is another fantasy book. So yeah, I'm just going to do that and then get ready and we'll go out for dinner. Apparently the weather is supposed to be like insane tonight. It's supposed to be like a huge snowstorm and then it's gonna drop down to like -17 next week, so. His first Ontario snowstorm.
And my second total since being in Canada. This is kind of crazy. I would make you cut it?
Going in.
Oh.
Good morning friends. Today is Saturday and Jamie and I are just getting ready to go to a farmer's market. It snowed like crazy last night, and Jamie just had his first ever shoveling experience.
Yeah, I've never shoveled snow before.
Well, you shoveled snow, but not like
alone.
And not like in a driveway.
And not in a driveway, yeah.
More so in a skiing context, I guess.
Exactly.
We went to dinner last night.
It was delicious.
Yeah. I got scallops. Jamie got, what is it?
Lamb shank. Was it worth the money?
It was a bit expensive for like portion size. We were both just saying. I don't know. I feel like I maybe don't have as much fine dining experience to appreciate like really small plates that are expensive. I'm sure it's just like high quality ingredients though, which I can appreciate every once in a while. It's just probably not something I would do very often. We came back here, watched a little bit of the Raptors game, which I found out they lost.
Yeah, like pretty badly as well.
And then I just read my book. I will admit that the book started off really slow. It's really picked up. I have the little markers on Kindle where you can see how far into the book you are, and I would say I'm about now I'm about 70%, but it started to pick up at about 50%. I find that if I'm really into a book, I just like devour it, and it's all I can think about. I've been trying to stay off social media at least on the weekends, and so having like a really good book helps with that. It's surprisingly hard, I feel. I mentioned on my podcast that I have quit nicotine in the past, and it's a similar type of feeling, honestly, of like trying to limit social media use. The initial phase is extreme agitation of just like, I want this thing that I'm so used to consuming. But once that passes, it's honestly really nice. I took 2 weeks off, as I mentioned. I have never felt better. So it's something I'm trying to implement more regularly into my routine, and I'm just starting off with like weekends. But I'm also trying to treat social media more as like a job, because it is a job for me. Trying to like take off evenings and stuff like that and just have a little bit more boundaries. I must have mentioned in a few vlogs that I was using this mascara and that I wasn't a big fan of it and I wanted a new one. This is one that I've seen, L'Oreal Telescopic, and I got the waterproof version because I find that helps my eyelashes to stand up a little bit more. And I don't wear mascara every single day, especially when it's waterproof, because it's so annoying to take off. But I will say that this one is really, really good, and I really understand now why it's so popular. Okay, we are back from the market, and actually there weren't a lot of vendors open because the weather is crazy. But we did get a liter of maple syrup, and I'm excited to try this. It's a different kind. This one says very dark, strong taste. We got some local eggs, pepperettes, Jamie's obsession, and that is it. So now we're just gonna relax, and I'm gonna read my book because I've become obsessed with it. Welcome to a minus 14-degree walk. We are bundling up. It's been a while since we've been in this temperature. My mom crocheted me this last year, and I finally have an opportunity to wear it. I bet this is gonna be overkill. I am happy to report that my winter jacket has fit me throughout this entire pregnancy, so let's keep our fingers crossed that it continues to. Is it overkill? We're gonna find out. Good morning, friends. Today is Monday. It is freezing cold out today. I think it's like minus 20. I just have been away from the cold for so long that it's jarring. My skin is not the greatest right now. You'll just have to kind of bear with me. I'm about to tint my eyebrows. I've showed this before. This is the kit that I use. I think I actually went a level darker. I do find, for whatever reason, compared to kits that I've used before, this is a little bit more like gentle. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be as like intense. I used to use this one from Amazon. You leave it on for like 5 minutes and your eyebrows are black. You know what? I have to do this in the mirror. Okay, so it's on now. I'm gonna let it develop, and I usually don't wash out the tray until I've actually removed the dye from my eyebrows just in case I want to do it again. And I do feel obligated to tell you that if this is your first time tinting your eyebrows, definitely do a, what is it called, like a patch test. My mom recently, like last year at some point, tinted her eyebrows for the first time, and I guess she was allergic to something in the dye, but she didn't know because she doesn't really color her hair. Her like whole eyebrows and face like swelled up for weeks, and it was really painful. So I'm usually so lazy with that stuff, but ever since that happened to my mom, if I'm using a new product, I like to patch test. So I just take like the smallest amount of product, and where I usually apply it is like right on the inner side of the arm, and then leave it on for 24 hours and just make sure there's no rash. This is always the part where I'm like a little bit nervous because it looks really intense, but it always turns out not that bad. Fingers crossed. This lighting though, top notch. And then I just take a little cotton round, put warm water on it, and wipe it off. I just was thinking about, as I was filming myself unloading my dishwasher, this comment that I got a few weeks ago just about the fact that my content is very boring. And you know what? I think this year is going to be about leaning into that. I'm not trying to put on a show or make my life seem like more grandiose or exciting than it really is. Like, this is my life. Call it boring, call it what you will. 99% of the time, I just want to see people's daily routines and kind of just like zone out and forget about my life for a bit. So if you're here, you probably resonate with that on some level. And if you're not looking for like that boring content, I don't know why you watch mine, because I would not classify my content as exciting or thrilling or groundbreaking, but I am okay with that. Okay, so there's the result. I didn't actually put anything on them after or anything. I've changed. This outfit will give you a bit of a better idea of what we're working with. I'm definitely starting to feel things growing at a much more rapid pace. However, still feeling good. Weirdly enough, last night as I was sleeping, I like kept waking up because I had cramps in a place I've never had cramps before, which is like my hip flexor. When you're in bed, there's not really any good way of stretching that. I think I just need to be a little bit more mindful of stretching out my hip flexors. It probably has to do with like a lot of sitting. I was really good for stretching for, I don't know, a couple weeks there, and I haven't really been as on it. Okay, I'm just drinking my morning coffee. What? It's like a little piece of vanilla. We got this like vanilla creamer, and I think it has like actual vanilla bean in it. Will I go right back to drinking it? Yes. Okay, so on my agenda for today, we have one video that I have to do for Instagram and TikTok, and then I also have an ad to film. I'm going to do another one of my freezer prep videos. Today is going to be like deconstructed cabbage rolls. For the podcast, I have to upload episode 2 in a 3-part series that I've been recording, and then I'm editing and uploading episode 3 in that series. For YouTube, I want to start to edit this vlog, and then I also started a Substack, which I think I mentioned at some point, so I have to do a post for that. So sometimes I feel like if I'm in the mood, I'll just have days where I just do a lot of content, and today is one of those days. So it is a little bit later, and I am going to make myself a smoothie. Okay, so first thing, a banana. And I'm going to use about half a cup of this mango. And I like to measure things recently. I don't know, it just helps me to not put like way too much of things. I've been using this app called Chronometer just to make sure that I'm like meeting my nutritional targets, because I feel like I just was not eating enough protein and I was hungry all the time. And so I just started kind of tracking some of the meals that I was eating from time to time, not every day and not for every meal. A half a cup of this mixed berry blend. Spinach I don't measure, I just take a couple handfuls. I'm gonna do a tablespoon of hemp hearts. Usually I do chia seeds, but I don't have those on hand today. This is one of my go-to yogurts. It's just plain yogurt. I just add a couple of spoonfuls of this. And then a little bit of shredded coconut. So there's all of the ingredients and then I just add water. This blender is actually like the best thing ever. I got it on Facebook Marketplace a few years ago. It's a Blend Tech and I got it for like $150 or something. I don't know how much they are usually, but it is my favorite thing. Not the prettiest color, but it tastes delicious. I finished everything on my to-do list. Yeah, a really good time to do that.
He was holding up to his thoughts and I was like...
I think I had...
What do you mean?
Like you're just standing there. I'm gonna close off this vlog, but before I do that, I want to mention that I finished The Will of the Many, the book that I was reading earlier in the vlog, and this has actually turned out to be my first 5 out of 5 rated book on Goodreads, so highly recommend. I cannot wait for the next book in the series. The ending was insane. And then the next book that I'm reading is called, I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see that, Tress of the Emerald Sea. That on Goodreads was like number 2 of the fantasy Goodreads Choice Awards for last year, so I'm kind of like looking at that list for inspiration. Thank you for watching this vlog and I'll see you in the next video.